Hi, everyone. My name is Tao Yeager, GitLab Product Manager for Continuous Integration. Today, I'd like to walk you through some updates on the CI category direction page, as well as talk through why we have made a change on our category maturity. So I'll link to this direction page at the bottom of this video. If you take a look at what's the section for what's next and why, you'll see that in the first paragraph, we talk about the investment that we're making now. It is actually our primary focus to strengthen the availability, reliability of GitLab.com. And that involves optimizing the performance of the database queries in CI pipelines. If you click through to the link to the epic here, you'll see that this is a rapid action, and our CI backend engineers are dedicated to this effort that started earlier in this quarter at the beginning of March. If you go in the description to the exit criteria, not only are these the criteria on which we know we've achieved what we wanted to in this rapid action, it gives you an overview of the scope of the rapid action. And these three goals are the main output from this effort. In addition, we're also working to enhance our pipeline validation service to ensure that performance on GitLab.com is not impacted by improperly configured pipelines and jobs. So what that means is both of these efforts are our top priority currently, and we, in fact, have prioritized this over plans to improve usability and even promised features, which are the two things that we had originally planned for the first couple quarters of this fiscal year. But once these rapid actions are completed, we will return to tackling our usability issues, specifically bugs related to artifacts and variables. And the way we would approach that in some cases is introducing new features as needed. And here's an example. There are risks inherent with having the ability to merge immediately. And in some cases, it would benefit some of our certain self-managed instance to be able to disable it altogether. And so we have an issue that is going to provide that ability to manage that merge immediately setting. Now, being able, that's not to say we want to hinder the ability to merge whenever possible. In fact, there are times where you have pipeline must succeed enabled, but the configurations resolve to an empty pipeline because no jobs need to be run. And we have a feature we've identified that we want to also work on in this first half of the fiscal year, which is allowing you to still merge your MR even if no jobs need to run for that pipeline. And an example of that would be if all the jobs in your pipeline has a condition that they will only run if the change is to master, and you have pipeline must succeed enabled, but the change that you're wanting to merge is on an environment other than master, which means none of these jobs would run, and which means you would not have a pipeline that succeeds, that completes successfully. That condition would prevent you from merging that MR, and we're working to solve for that in this issue to allow you to still merge. Okay, so that's what's next and why. The other thing I wanted to highlight is our maturity plan. So recently we changed our maturity from lovable to complete for a couple of reasons. We did a research project for category maturity scorecard for CI. And in this research project, we interviewed both software developer persona as well as the DevOps engineer persona. And we had them evaluate, we were evaluating two CI jobs to be done. And those were when integrating my code into a repository, I want to initiate the CI pipeline so I can maintain code quality. So that was about how easy is it for them to trigger a pipeline. And then once the pipeline is running, how easy is it for them to be aware of delays and respond to a failure. So in this research, what we had them do is on the first one, triggering a pipeline, we gave them a project and said, now make some change to the project. How easy, and observe how easy it was for them to trigger a pipeline. And then in the second one, we had a project that had a problematic job that failed. And we observed how easy it was for our research participants to find the delay in their pipeline, the issue with the job, and how easy it was to troubleshoot. Those are two of the key tasks that users of GitLab CI would need to do well in order to score our category maturity at complete or above. Of the participants, 2 were software engineers and 5 were DevOps engineer. And the finding was interesting. The scorecard for the one of the jobs you've done scored out at 4.5, and then the other one at 4.4. And what that tells us on our maturity scale is for a category maturity card of at least 3.95, it would fall into the maturity rating of lovable. Now, that is consistent with another research project that happened about the same time that is summarized in an unfiltered blog that Jackie Porter published at the end of February. And I'll link to this blog at the bottom of this video. And what she found in this research, which was conducted over a 6-week period, interviewing our customers to learn about their adoption journey with GitLab, there were 3 key findings summarized in this blog. One is that GitLab is lovable by developers. And that's consistent with what we found in the jobs to be done that we researched and how high it scored, above 4. However, we decided to move our CI category maturity down to complete because 2 of the other findings in this research revealed areas in which we can mature, improve, and they're listed here. I won't read through them, but you can dive into this in this blog. But so our path back to maturity is listed here, as well as in our category direction page, as far as the things we want to do to progress to the next maturity target of lovable, which is working on our variables and artifact bugs and resolving tech debt related to our merge request widget. And then one of the findings from that research project about the adoption journey mentions that it's hard to have visibility into jobs at scale. We know that there are features that we can deliver that is already a part of our vision items for the fiscal year, which is plans to help users better monitor and understand their pipelines. It could be details about a pipeline activity, such as job duration, or metrics about historical pipelines, so that better decisions can be made based on the trends of pipelines. So it is our vision to deliver on those, and here are links to some epics about that, both presenting information about running pipeline activities. Oops, I didn't mean to click through to that, as well as improving the experience around debugging jobs and analyzing pipelines. So that's pretty much the key changes and updates to the category that I wanted to summarize for you today. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me, and I hope this was useful. Thank you.